Hi guys, I know you miss staring into the light. Anyway, today I'm going to cover a thing that we all have to do. Seems like a bigger deal than it is sometimes. But yeah, so the truck, let me go ahead and flip this around so I can show you. The truck here is it's a L59, which, I mean, might as well be, it's an lm7. L59 is just the flex fuel variant. And all of that stuff is gone, so it's the same. It was originally carbureted just because I chose to do that. Now that there's turbo things in the future, and really because I want to run E85 because there's so much of it around me, we're fuel injection converting this with, the Poly Terminator X Max. Put an old 4L80 back there, not that you can see it, but knock sensors. That's what we're discussing today. These little gentlemen here. GM had an issue with Gen 3 knock sensors, as I'm sure you're aware if you have a Gen 3. They like to run this little piece of foam that I'm pretty sure is not here. But like right up under the intake there, they'd run a little piece of foam that would hold water. And that water, yes, paint it black, that way people can see. That water would run down into here, and this is where your knock sensor sits. Well, under your knock sensor is this wonderful rubber seal. So what happens when you get water in that foam? Yes, it fills up the knock sensor holes, because while these caps here on the knock sensor harness are all nice and rubbery and pliable, yeah, after about 276,412 heat cycles, they become, well, a little less rubbery, as you can see from, the fact that you generally can't snap rubber. So, what happens is, the seal can't really plug that hole like it should, and that foam doesn't help the problems. So what I'm going to do today is show you how I get around that when replacing knock sensors. So mind you, everything I own has an LS in it. Dailies, tow rigs, all of it. So I've done this 100 or 200 times. Okay, so this is your valley pan gasket. I've reused these like time and time again. I mean, as long as the rubber's still pliable and not torn up, there really shouldn't be any reason you can't reuse it. Honestly, all it really does is hold crankcase pressure in and keep water out, and you're kind of solving the water problem anyway. So anyway, here's the I did replace the gasket only because I did head gaskets on my Suburban Daily because of a lifter. Yay, that was good times. And the kit that I bought came with the valley gasket and actually the seals for the knock sensors. So I went ahead and used those on this, since I've actually already done the knock sensors on that. I wasn't going to take it back apart. But otherwise, I mean, I wouldn't go out and buy a gasket. Okay, so to install knock sensors, it's really all you need. It's a 7/8 socket. I believe they're actually like 21 or 22 millimeter. I think it's 22. But no harder than you put them in here. I usually don't try to do this, but we're going to try today. Just start it down there in the little thread. which is, you know, I always see people complaining about trying to do things and record it while watching YouTube videos. Never understood until this very moment. So yeah, this one's a little crusty. It's gonna take some motivation. I'm keeping that nice and straight. Now, you don't really need to like torque these very hard. I'm sure they have a torque spec, and if you're a torque spec guy, by all means, Google it up. Me personally, the knock sensor needs to be, you know, tightish. But keep in mind, I should have pointed this out while they were out. The way a knock sensor works, or the way these knock sensors work, is they have some like crystal quartz or something in them that actually create electricity from vibration, and that's where it gets its signal from. So the way these are made, you might be able to tell there, the top where the nut is pressed into is just crimped on by the bottom. So you don't want to go, you know, full walrus, if you get the reference. Now, these harnesses, and the reason that harnesses always come with the knock sensors, or should, I'm going to show you now, before I put it on. These plugs right here, yes, you can squeeze them and pull them off, except you can't, because 9 times out of 10 this cap is going to be very well stuck. And even if you can give people space aids with your video, even if you can, it's so tight in there that by the time you get needle nose pliers or something in there to compress that, you end up snapping it. So if you're doing knock sensors, the harness is like $7 to $11. Just buy it. Save yourself the trouble. Okay, so on these fine gentlemen, the plug comes out of the back. So you're going to want the longer one forward. So blue in the front, green in the back. I'm not guaranteeing your harness is going to be that way. Obviously, they go in there and all of that. So usually I use RTV or something like that just to seal those up. I'm going to try something new today. The first thing I like to do is pull that back and plug this in so I can, you know, verify it's plugged in. But you see how much wonderful space you don't have. Like, I cannot get that off with my fingers, given I have grown man fingers. But I feel like most of you probably do too. So I go ahead and plug these in just because. And then normally, like, I'll spare a little silicone around here just to give it a little seal. We're gonna do something different today though. Today we're gonna use some really hot glue, mostly because I bought this thing like 2 months ago and it was still in the package, and it'll do the same thing. It'll just do it in a much more you better hurry up manner. So that's nice. That's nice. And then I'm going to build just a little dam around it in the front, which was the GM fix. Yeah, I'm a champion of the hot glue. So another thing that I do with the RTV is I'll put just a dab of RTV just right around that plug, and then push the wire in just a hair, And yeah, so you get the basic gist there. I'm gonna do the rear one with 2 hands, because between this janky chair I'm standing on, because my truck is 85 foot off the ground on Harbor Freight junk stands, yeah, you get the basic drift. I also like to pin the wire down, which I'm gonna do with the hot glue. But yeah, it's, you know, really simple. If you were doing this, you wouldn't take this off unless you wanted to replace the seals. And honestly, there's probably no reason to replace the seals. I just did it because I had them. You know, you got to touch the hot glue. Oh wow, it's already dry. Good. So yeah, that's the basic gist of that. And look at all that mess. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't watch that. You don't need to see that. That'll all be cleaned up eventually. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and all of that, so the YouTubes can eventually give me some monies, so I can use said monies to do really dumb things and take videos of it. Thanks.